Hey, good morning, everyone. Is everyone able to hear me clearly? Hey, Ren. Yeah, we'll have pound dollar. We will have pound dollar today. Okay, cool, cool. Nice to see you, Graham. Nice to see you, Fabio. Um, yeah, guys, I'm a little bit my voice is not fully recovered yet, right? So it might be a little bit difficult to hear me, right? So do bear with me. Yeah, still recovering from a bit of a sore throat, right? But I should be able to go through. I should be able to go through this week. All right. Mando 1 2 3. Right. We are rotating a bit between me and the rest of my team members. Right. So there'll be Ketan. There'll be maybe over time there'll be Emily who will rotate. But I do take a look at all the analysis before the analysis is shared on the pre-market session, right? So don't worry about that, all right? But yeah, I'm a little bit down under. Is that the correct word? Under the weather, not down under. That means I'll be in Australia, right? I'm a little bit under the weather today. So do bear with me if my voice is not entirely clear, okay? XD, nice to see you, right? Marondera, nice to see you too, right? And thanks, Mando, right? I hope I got a speedy recovery too, right? So do bear with me if I'm a little bit softer today, or if I'm not able to speak at my usual speed today, okay? Just give me a second. Just let me update everyone that I'm going live now, all right? Okay, just updating everyone that I'm live. Okay, we're back. Thank you, Graham. Right, thank you, Roy. Yeah, I try to take it easy today. Right. All right. Got request from Rero for Euro Yen. Right. Amir, Aussie Cat, Euro Cat. All right. A lot of nice requests today. Right. So I got pound dollar, I got Euro Yen, I got Aussie Cat, and you got Euro Cat. All right. Now let's begin today's session. Guys, remember, everything in this webinar is educational in nature, so nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So please do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Okay. I just got a question from Fabio. Perfect timing after this disclaimer, right? That the markets are ranging, sideways a lot these days. How can he improve to trade when the markets are sideways? So I assume that you're asking, how do you better trade when the markets are ranging, right? Meaning that they are not breaking out in a bullish or bearish direction, right? So I have two takes on that. The first take is that usually when it comes to trading, remember that more money is made sitting on your hands versus trading, right? Meaning not all money is made by taking trades. A lot of money is also made by not taking trades, right? Because when you don't take a losing trade, right? If you take a trade and it loses, and let's just say it loses -1%, you need to take a winning trade to make back that 1% before it can go back to winning ways, right? So an equal amount of money is made by avoiding losing trades. So if the markets are sideways and you feel that there isn't any good trading opportunity, right? One approach that I would, in this case, look at is to avoid trading, purely to avoid trading at times where you're not confident, right? The other question on how you can improve when the markets are trading sideways, my other interpretation of it, or rather my other answer to that is how can you improve like a range bound trading, right? So range bound trading is usually looking for good support and resistance levels, right? You can't trade a range if the markets are not clearly showing that there's a clear resistance and a clear support where it's bouncing and reacting off a couple of times, right? So the answer to that is that you can also improve it, right? You can actually play the bounces, you can play the range, right? Having good downside and upside confirmation is very important, right? You saw it in my, especially not in this last week's video, but 2 weeks ago when I was showing you guys how we got about 80% or 90% hit rate, right? I think it was a lot because we were using upside and downside confirmations, right? Upside and downside confirmations are basically knowing when price is breaking a certain level and going down to the next and going on to the next level, right? So that's the meaning of upside and downside confirmation levels, right? Knowing these levels are very important if you want to trade breakouts very well, right? And avoid false breakouts. Okay, so that's the second part to it, and last part to it is use correlation, right? So one way to avoid, when you're trading a range, right, naturally you wonder if price is really going to bounce off this support level, or it's going to break through, right? A large part of that depends on whether how strong that support level is, or whether the breakout you're seeing is true, right? So one way to do that, you see it on all my analysis, is to use correlation, right? So if price is breaking out on euro dollar and also breaking out on dollar franc, and also breaking out on DXY, right? Then you have a higher chance of price breaking out in the direction that you're looking at, or that's a true breakout versus a false breakout, which would then allow you to trade the bounce of the range or the breakout of the range. All right, so correlation is another key part to that. Okay, hope that answers your question, right? But anyway, back to if you need me to clarify it a little bit more, let me know. I'll do my best to get to it. Okay. Now, but yeah, don't hesitate to send through questions, even though my voice sounds a little bit like crap. It's getting better, right? Just that, not in time for today's session. All right. Hey, Chris, nice to see you here, man. Nice to see you here. Right. Right. So yeah, our usual approach, right? I usually leave the key news events to be covered by Ketan or Peggy later in the day. Right. My focus is to analyze the majors, right? The crosses, right? And of course the custom requests that you have. We have quite a nice number of custom requests today, right? So for those of you guys who are wondering, who's this guy over here, right? Who's doing this presentation with a voice that sounds like death, right? My name is Desmond Leong, right? Introducing a host, right? I run the award-winning research firm Everest Fortune Group, also the Forex Army, right? Let me just move myself. Okay, I think it's out. Okay, right. So we are finalists for 2019, 2020, 2021 for best FX and best equity research. I'm also a prop firm trader, right? So just to share with you guys, not endorsing any prop firm yet, right? But yeah, so took a funded trader test, 100 grand, 100 funded trader test, passed both phases quite easily, right? So managing a bit of funds. I really just took this test just to prove to everyone that, because we had some questions come through, asking, hey, do these strategies really work? Can they be used to pass like this kind of trading competitions, right? And I figured the best way to answer that is to take it yourself, right? So I've taken it, and yeah, just using what I teach you in these sessions, right? You should be able to pass it very easily. I passed phase 1 in like 2 days, right? So it's really quite It's quite easy to pass if you have the right knowledge. Okay. Anyway, back to this, right? We usually work with many of the major financial institutions, but we have a special partnership with IC Markets, where we're bringing you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the stuff that take a trading to the next level. Thank you for smashing that. I didn't know there's a like button. Yeah, thanks for smashing the like button. Yeah, Milu, nice to see you too. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Yeah, and quoting a wise guy, Shokane, right? Let's get it. Let's get started. All right. So let's look at the. Let's start with maybe DXY. Okay, DXY. Look at what we were playing last week. Right. Last week we were playing the reversals of this key level. Right. Are more or less fluctuating between these levels, which price has done quite well. Okay. Now look at this. If you are able, right? So answering the question, let me just adjust myself a bit. Make myself a little smaller and move myself a bit to the side. All right. Okay, I think the logo is not blocking me entirely, but it should allow a little bit more space. I'm just gonna move myself to the left instead. Over here, okay. Yeah, moving myself here so I don't block too much of the screen. Okay, guys. Okay, so answering back to Fabio's question previously, right? If you're able to highlight the correct levels, right? You notice that, like for example, this first resistance over here, right? This first resistance over here, price was able to respect it very nicely and not close over it, right? Throughout the week until the last day when the non-farm payroll came out, right? So this is an example of being able to highlight your resistance and support levels well so that you can avoid those false breakouts. And usually, right, when the markets are ranging essentially, one of the reasons the markets are moving sideways is because of indecision, right? There isn't enough confidence in a particular direction, either bullish or bearish, to send the markets in that way, right? So like for example, at the end of last week there was a non-farm payroll, right? So a lot of people are waiting for that key moment to decide how the markets were going to move, right? And of course you can see that on the last day then we saw a nice little breakout over here that suggests we might be seeing a rise from the first resistance up to the second resistance. All right, so let's start with highlighting the few key levels again. All right, definitely a key resistance level there. I think it's in line with a 61.8 retracement. Yep, exactly in line with a 61.8 retracement. And these will be the key resistance that we're watching out for. The support level might be here, right? This might be the intermediate, first support. We can either put it as the first support or we can put it as like an intermediate support, right? To watch out for, which I think. So whenever I'm wondering if price is really really going to bounce from here all the way up to there, right? What I then do is I look at the correlated instruments to get a better idea, right? So, all right, DXY is going up, but what does dollar franc say, right? Euro dollar, last week it reversed off our channel resistance very nicely, reversed off first resistance very nicely, and is continuing down to this support level over here. Okay, so if you got in our trade like this forecast last week, congratulations, you'll be making a good amount of money, right? But what I like about here is that there is nothing that is stopping my euro dollar from coming down to here. Okay, let me just show you again, right? Key support is down here and this overlap over here. Okay, channel. We got a nice bit of channel resistance over here. Something like a channel resistance. So you got prices pushing down. It looks like price could push down a little bit more to here. In euro, when I'm looking at euro dollar DXY, that is the equivalent. That is the equivalent of price making a push up to over here, right? Oops. That's the equivalent of price making a push up to over there. Is the equivalent of euro dollar kind of inching downwards towards this support level. Okay, in terms of where it might reverse from, sorry, just give me, yeah. In terms of where it might reverse from, right? This still remains as the key first resistance level, right? I noticed that there isn't a breakout on euro dollar like there was on DXY, right? DXY, you can see there's a little bit of a breakout in terms of price, key price levels, but euro dollar does not have a breakout. It just looks like it's going to continue down to this key support level. Okay, and of course we got our resident indicator over here, little cat, who's always here every without fail every morning. It's the most accurate indicator, right? That you guys should be following, right? It's an indicator, right? That's what I mean. It's my favorite indicator, right? It's 100% hit rate, so to speak. Right. Now anyway, back to today's analysis. All right, what I like about this support level is that it's a magnetic level. Okay, meaning that it's such a big level, right? It's such a big level that price is naturally attracted to it, right? It's like a magnet, you know, when one magnet is close enough to it, you put them far apart, they move slowly, right? But when one is close enough to the other, right, it suddenly snaps to it, right? So that's how that's how a magnetic level tends to work, right? When price is close enough, it snaps to it. Okay, so that this I do have a I do think price euro dollar might drop a bit before reaching there, right? And the next key support level is a little bit close by, about over here. Okay, let me look at dollar franc first. So this is me looking at correlation. My concern is that for dollar franc, it looks like price did not break this descending trend line. So we still got a fair bit of resistance over there. A nice bit of Fibonacci retracement, right? But it looks like price didn't break out here. So this is this is a perfect example where correlation is not lining up perfectly, right? Dollar franc and DXY are supposed to move quite in sync with each other, right? You can look at dollar franc over here, right? And I put it on a new price scale. You notice that dollar franc and euro dollar do tend to move in similar directions. One goes up, the other goes down. One goes down, the other goes up, right? You can see go up, down together, right? So dollar franc and DXY tends to move in the same direction. Now the problem is, right, this means that it is rather strongly positively correlated, right? Now the problem is that it looks like DXY is making a breakout, but dollar franc is not. Dollar franc looks like it's going to drop. Okay, so this makes it a little bit tricky. Instead of buying on weakness, I would change this to an intermediate support. So this is an example of how this changes my analysis a bit. highlight intermediate resistance here. I would then highlight this area as like a resistance area to look out for. Yeah, I would then look to sell on strength instead of buying on weakness. Okay, to look to buy, to look to play the reversal, right? I look whenever price is up here, then I look to take the sell trade, right? So it's the same as euro dollar. I won't look to buy on weakness. No, I won't look to sell from here to here. Instead, I will look to play the bounce when price comes back down to here. Okay, and if price were to bounce, if price were to bounce, we might be able to see a nice little bounce from here, right? Look to play a bounce, right? Maybe up to there would be enough. Okay, not too confident because of this bearish descending channel, but what I'll be looking for is for price to make a bounce instead. So I'll be looking to buy on weakness, right? That would mean my dollar franc would be in line because I'm looking to sell on strength in this case, right? For price to potentially, right? For price to potentially reverse down to here. Okay, so this is an example of using correlation to filter out. Initially, I was thinking that price was going to make a breakout, right? Because of what I was looking at in terms of the price action. But after looking at the correlated instruments, it then made me realize that a breakout might not be happening. Hey Tariq, nice to see you. Right, for those of you guys who are just joining, apologies for my voice, right? It hasn't fully recovered yet. So a little bit under the weather, right? Under weather, so yeah, please bear a bit with my voice. All right, but I'll still be able to go through today's session with you. So that yeah, I'll be speaking a little bit softer, right? And my voice is not as clear, right? So please bear with me, all right? Yeah, so now this brings me to my first request of the day from Ren, who asked for an analysis on pound dollar, right? So pound dollar over here. So last week we highlighted this as the key support level, right? Price has continued to range around that level very nicely, right? So if you're playing the range between our first resistance and our first support, right, you should be able to make some pretty good money playing the bounces of the support and playing the reversals of resistance. And this is another reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to play the initial breakout, right? Because in this case, right, DXY breaking out would suggest that if pound dollar had broken out of this support, I would be confident of a drop, right? But because it is, we notice that euro dollar, which is, we're buying on strength, dollar franc, we're going to play a reversal, DXY, we're looking to play a reversal. It means that pound dollar might be seeing a little bit of a bounce. We could potentially be looking to play it within this range again, okay, to play the bounce from the first support all the way to the first resistance level. Forex sir, nice to see you here, man. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, right, so yeah, I might be playing the bounce to the first resistance instead. Okay, so again, this is a perfect example of using correlation to fine-tune your analysis. Okay, dollar yen last week, right, it reversed perfectly from our first resistance, right, back down to our intermediate support, which is our 23.6% Fibonacci retracement and overlap, right? And it bounced really nicely to come back up to there. What is the view for this week? I still think, factually looking at it, right? Factually looking at it is that if price is on resistance, we naturally sell, right? So I'll be bearish below this big resistance area. Even with the non-farm payroll, price was not able to break past it. So I might be looking for price to fluctuate a little bit between the first resistance area and the intermediate support. Okay, right? First support level remains and the first resistance level remains. No changes over there. Yeah, nice to see you tune in. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So we're going to look at dollar CAD next, right? We highlighted this really key support level on dollar CAD last week, right? And the beautiful thing is that price came down to this level, right? See, we highlighted on 26, right? Price came down and it bounced off that level perfectly. Okay, so that's the importance of highlighting levels correct. That's the importance of highlighting key levels correctly. All right, if you highlight them correctly, you can really catch the really nice bounces. All right, so yeah, dollar CAD. Dollar CAD. My analysis will remain the same for dollar CAD, right? Let me just see. Yeah, this is what I mean by using Fibonacci to fine tune, right? We got the support level, but price really did bounce off the 50% Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so this is an example of price bouncing. We are using Fibonacci to fine tune our analysis to catch the levels very accurately where the bounces and reversals happen. Right, this is an example of what I mean by using Fibonacci to fine tune. Okay. All right, so Aussie dollar, right? This was our support level that we did last week, right? Price did bounce off initially quite nicely off this level, and it looks like it might be breaking. Okay, let me think what might happen over here. See, this is the another example. Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar are strongly positively correlated, meaning when one goes up, the other goes up. When one goes down, the other goes down. Look at our levels, right? Kiwi dollar price is right on a key support level, right? But for Aussie dollar, it looks like it is breaking out, right? So that to me is a sign to be concerned. Oh, got Lo-Fi Girl requesting for Bitcoin. All right, we take a look at Bitcoin after Kiwi dollar. All right, so this is an example of we having to maybe fine tune our analysis a bit because there was a fair bit of price the shadows of the candlesticks were also touching this level here. Okay, we're also touching this level over here. So we could arguably say that this is price is actually, right? If you look at it, right, a lot of candles were also my approach is to find the most number of intersections while cutting the least number of candlestick bodies. All right, they're all about over here, right? So it looks like we can play a bounce. We're likely to maybe play a bounce from this level, right, to this level be enough. I'll probably fine tune my second resistance to come a little bit further down, right, to about here. But I'll probably be looking to play the bounce from here instead, right, to play it up to here. Okay, to where the overlap resistance is. Largely because it looks like we are, I'm not too confident of the breakout. Right, because it looks if both Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar both had a similar breakout, that's good, right? The only thing that will make this trading idea invalidated is if price, once the markets are open, right, and it gaps down below the support level, then I would consider that okay, maybe time to play the move to the second support. Okay, that'll be the only time where this move would be invalidated. Okay, that means if the market's open in a couple of hours. No, I think in an hour, right? And it opens over here, right? Then we'll invalidate this idea and ideally look to play the drop down to the second support. Okay. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin, I think it's in a bit of a mess. Hey Solomon, nice to see you tune in, right? All right. Thanks for ideas for trading. What range are in? Answering some of the questions, right? Solomon, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's okay that you're late, right? Okay, actually, it's not okay that you're late. Kidding. You can rewind after this session is done. I think it'll be automatically uploaded, so you can rewind and watch, right? Yaya's asking if there's ideas for trading range. You know what? I think we can do that, right? I will get my team to prepare a webinar on trading ranges, right? I think it's a pretty good idea, right? Springfall is asking what are my thoughts on AI in the market, right? So if you could clarify a bit, right? Do you mean AI trading robots, or do you mean are you referring to the AI market, the AI sector in general, right? All right. All right. Got request a US 32. All right. I mean, I guess yes. I'll take a look at gold in a bit for a cut. All right. My quick opinion on AI, or basically like using AI to trade, right? On one hand, AI can now help you create your own expert advisors, right? If you use MT4, MT5, it can help you create your own robots a lot better, right? So I think it's good in that sense, right? AI can, you can literally ask ChatGPT to help you create to a fair degree of accuracy, right? An EA in the, to trade a certain strategy, right? I think it's fine, right? So there'll be likely a lot more people employing AI in the market. Now, how AI do works is a lot of it tends to be rule based. Okay, meaning that a lot of it is seeing patterns, right? So if anything, technical analysis would become slightly stronger, because a lot of people will create robots not on fundamental analysis, right? But they'll be creating robots on indicators, right? Support and resistance, Fibonacci, stochastic, right? And because of that, what's likely to happen is that the more people that flood to a certain study of technical analysis, like Elliott wave or Fibonacci, the more you will see the patterns play out in the markets. When price reaches see a bullish divergence, higher chance that you might see price bounce, right? Largely because of more people obeying the laws of technical analysis, right? So my idea is that if more people are using AI robots, it means that more people would be using it to create rule-based trading strategies. Rule-based trading strategies work very well in technical analysis, right? Because it's hard to create rule-based trading strategies based on sentiment and fundamental analysis, which also means that you might be seeing price respect traditional technical analysis a lot better. Okay, so I guess that is a little bit of my take on it. Okay, and yeah, maybe less arbitrage opportunities like what Lo-Fi mentioned in the markets. Okay, because the robots will be there to benefit from the arbitrage, to exploit those kind of arbitrage opportunities a bit too fast. Okay, just looking at Bitcoin, right? Just looking at Bitcoin, it's hard to find any resistance level. Right, this probably be my first resistance. I honestly, sadly, am not able to call a move on. I'm not able to call a move confidently on on Bitcoin. Let me take a look at Ethereum first. Views are the same for Ethereum. And this is an example where I will look to play the range, right? I look to play the range between these two levels, right? I look to play the range between these two levels, which would be the same as playing the range between Bitcoin, right? Of this level, of this support, right? Yeah. The view on Bitcoin Ethereum is not that clear, right? So, as I always say, good amount of money has been made sitting on your hands, right? So, what that basically means is that money, a lot of money is also made by not trading, right? So if a market doesn't present a good trading opportunity for you, right? It does, yeah. Avoiding those bad trade setups and looking for better trade setups is bad. Helps you on your path to profitability, right? Because for every loss you avoid is a win that you is a win that you make, right? Because if you lose 1%, like I mentioned previously, you need to make 1% to make it back. Then you're back to break even, right? So if you avoid that loss, right, it's as good as making that win. Don't just think about profit maximization, think about loss avoidance too. Reducing your losses is as important as trying to chase those profits, okay? Let's take a look at gold. Wow. I would say nothing much to look at for gold. This big resistance level remains a big resistance level. And we don't just highlight this level because this big resistance level has been there since August 2020. Each time price reached that level, it kind of reverse. All right, it spiked up very strongly over here, then it closed, it reversed. So if anything, we're looking to play the reversal of this key level, right? Maybe back down to this support level, right? This would more or less be what I'm looking at. Not the best overlap here because of this, but I think we can go with it, right? Because there aren't that many key support levels, okay? Right, so look probably be looking to sell on strength for gold, right? Sell on strength for gold. For WTI, very messy. Let me find my bearings first. I don't have a clear move for oil. I'm sorry. I mean, I can clearly establish this and this as the key resistance and support, but if you look at it, price is right smack in the middle of our key resistance and support. So I can't confidently say where it's gonna go, right? But I'll be looking at this ascending support level a bit, right? If it breaks this level, we might come down to this intermediate support. If we break this intermediate support, then it probably will come down to here. But I'll be looking to buy on strength, right? I'll probably be staying out of oil, right? No good setup over there, right? We had request for Euro Yen by Raro earlier, right? So I'll look at Euro Yen first. Let me just look at it once again. Okay, we got a resistance level over here. You're going to probably see it just strengthen a bit to reach the first resistance. I suspect we got a bit of a channel going on over here. You got a bit of a bullish channel over here. So nice bit of bullish momentum. That should take prices up. We might be able to see the right, yeah, it's price is on a little bit of Ichimoku cloud support too, right? So we should be able to see the little bounce for Ichimoku for Euro Yen, bouncing off Ichimoku, bouncing off the first support, bouncing off the ascending channel to take prices up to the first resistance level. Okay, yeah, that probably be my view for Euro Yen. We had a request for Aussie CAD. Let me highlight my levels first. Okay, it's on the 61.8% support Fibonacci retracement. I have a feeling we might see a bit of a bounce, minimally to over here, right? If you're confident, it can come all the way up there, but we should be able to see a bounce minimally to this level, right? This would be my view on Euro Yen, on Aussie CAD. Potential stop loss level. Okay, and we had a request for Euro CAD too. Lo-Fi Girl, yes, the technicals work on crypto too. Fur cut, right? Yeah, actually, we do trade live on the market, right? This is an example where I think if you watch all our previous analysis, right? We always do our analysis live, so you can see our track record for the past I think it's a few years already, right? We call our trades live for the week, right? Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't work out, but I think most of you guys here have seen it work out probably about like 80% of the time, 70 to 80% of the time, right? That's about our hit rate, right? And that's one of the reasons why we're still here, right? I like the support level on EuroCAD. Very nice key support level over here, right? Probably worth playing a bounce from here. Actually, now that you mention it, looks like a nice bounce you could play from here. And it's right on the 61.8 retracement, right? This would be, if you want an upside confirmation, this could be the upside confirmation that you look out for. But we could play a nice little bounce on EuroCAD to take prices up to here, right? Probably nice to play the bounce over here. If you want to wait for confirmation, you can use this as the confirmation. If you want to get in a little bit riskier, you can use this to play the bounce right up to the first resistance level. Very nice overlap resistance with a 61.8 retracement, and I think the Fibonacci projection. There's a nice 78.6% Fibonacci projection that lines up perfectly there too. So probably one of the nicest setups this week. If you want, you can play you wait for the upside confirmation over here. Otherwise, you could play a bounce from here to get a better risk reward. Okay. Yes, Thomas. All the analysis is on the daily, right? So this is our pre-market weekly analysis. No, it's our pre-market analysis. So we know what to expect for the week. Using the daily charts will give us just enough buffer, right, to know what to expect for the week. All right, if you use the 1 hour chart, it's only what to expect for Monday. Okay, but the 1 day chart gives us a good enough buffer to know what's going to happen for the week. Okay, I take a quick look at US 30. I don't want to look at US 30, right? Because there's no it's hard to trade the US 30, right? Maybe up here is where pricing come out to, but I'm not gonna say I'm confident about US 30 at all. Okay, I I can't I can't play a move on US 30, right? It's just going higher and higher and higher, right? So it's hard for me to call a move. Probably the main idea probably be to buy on dips, right? So look for these key support levels, right? Look for these key support levels. Yeah, probably look for these key support levels to play the bounces from. Okay. This would probably be what I'm looking for. Look to buy on weakness, all right? Buy on weakness, buy on weakness. Every time when price is making higher highs, it's dangerous to try to call when the reversal is going to happen at the top. So the best thing to do, right, is to just buy on weakness, keep playing the momentum upwards, okay? Last request I have is pound franc. Price did drop quite nicely from our previous level here, I think. You could argue we're in a little bit of a bearish channel, right? So I'll probably be looking to sell on strength, right, to play the move down to the support levels, okay? A little bit difficult to call for this because the technical elements aren't that nice, but what I do see is nice bit of bearish channel, right? Probably look to sell on strength to play the move down. Very hard to call a move. Look at price is so choppy going sideways, right? So it's very difficult to call a move on this. Okay, no problem. PMGB. All right. So all right, guys. That's it for me for today. I'm gonna rest my throat now. Thanks for staying with me through today's session. If you found it useful, please smash that thumbs up button, the likes. Help me like this video, right? It really helps the YouTube algorithm be able to spread our video a lot better, right? Thanks Roy. Thanks for tuning in for today's session. Really appreciate it, guys. I'm sorry about my voice, right? Still a little bit under the weather, so my voice is not fully recovered, right? But yeah, thanks for bearing with me and staying with me through today's session. All right. Stay safe, trade safe, peace out. I'll catch you guys in the next video, right? Remember to tune in on our YouTube session, our live trading session, I think happening in about a 12.5 hours from now. Okay, stay safe, trade safe, and I guess on a last note, I think the nicest setup today is probably EuroCAD, right? PMGB, right? It's probably EuroCAD. This key move that I'm looking at to play the bounce off this level. Okay. All right. Hope that answers your question. Take care, guys. Bye bye.